Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! Back, Fuchs. And the ball in behind Damian Vardy! It's 11! It's heaven for Jamie Vardy!
You are an ostrich. Well, your head must be in the sand. Is your head in the sand? Are you flexible enough to get your head in the sand?
Now the fans are shouting every week, Louis van Gaal's army! Louis van Gaal's army!
Feet after a fabulous start, the game just got away from you there.
I have nothing to say.
Nothing to say about the game at all.
Drama from day one! This is the league we want to watch!
This week on the Premiership Perusal podcast, some massive victories for Aston Villa. They keep marching on. Ollie Watkins scores in garbage time. He keeps scoring. He cannot be stopped. And speaking of cannot be stopped, Crystal Palace under Roy Hodgson. How do you like them apples? Protect this man at all costs. There is a lot in between, and we'll cover it, as well as Man City's dominant victory over Southampton and Arsenal's draw with Liverpool. All that and more on this week's episode of the Premiership Perusal podcast. All that and Seinfeld bits as we fill up the rest of the podcast with Seinfeld bits.
Scott McTominay, what is that? Who's that guy?
Jerry, I open up the website and it says Scott McTominay, man of the match.
Have you considered that he was good that game?
What's up with that, Jerry? I can't believe it.
You know, the Scots.
The Scots. He's Scotch.
Something like that.
All right, let's get into this first game of the week.
Man U, Everton.
Man U absolutely dominating.
Yeah, that was
this game.
You know, a lot of good chances early. And honestly, I guess Anthony looked good. It was just he was wasteful with the chances. Like he's getting in the spots and doing stuff.
Yeah, that's at least an improvement over him being invisible.
Yes.
But like you said, the finishing was just absolutely horrendous.
Mm-hmm.
He could have had a hat trick. Early chance, first chance of the game, falls to Sabitzer, shoots wide, and then United just continuously hit on the counterattack. For some reason, Everton decided, hey, we're going to play a really high back line against a team that loves to counter.
Yeah. It's very odd.
It was very un-Sean Dyche-like.
Yeah, he was rubbing his bald ginger head.
I don't know what he was going for in this one because they really had nothing going on. They did have one chance 19 minutes in. Sims just really scuffed the chance and made a mess out of it. Looked like Neil Maupay out there.
Well, what are you going to do? He's a championship level player at the moment, Ellis Sims. They had a good chance off a set piece too, I'm pretty sure. But, yeah, I mean, Rashford couldn't score early on. Aaron Wan-Bissaka tapped an absolute shank in, or shanked an absolute tap in.
Yes.
Whatever that was. But, yeah, I mean, man, you really, after giving up one or two chances, Everton back to controlling possession, kind of limiting Everton's chances to win the ball. But yet somehow we're able to counterattack, like you said. And then we get the McTom goal. Pickford could not cover that near post.
Cannot cover the near post. McTom makes easy work of it. The defense, nowhere to be found. Shoots past him. 1-0 United. Another chance just before halftime for United. Anthony, lay spinny man, cannot lay spin it into the back of the net.
No.
Goes into halftime. 1-0. Second half, United definitely took their foot off the gas. Still, I mean, Everton wasn't really in the game. It was just United wasn't creating much.
Yeah, it was. I had a question if it was Man U's passing was really good this game or Everton's defense was just like really out of shape and sorts, and I don't know what happened.
I think it was more of the second.
Okay.
Everton was just playing a suicidal high line.
Yeah. Well, when Michael Keane's out there, you have no choice but to push on.
Yeah, he's your leading goal scorer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your guy, Martial.
Martial scoring first time since January or something like that.
You forget he's on the team. At least I do.
Yes. Seems like he shouldn't be. He went to Sevilla. Now he's back. Strange one. Coleman, really rough one.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Just the old Wifarewski
Yeah.
straight to Martial. Big news as Marcus Rashford goes down with an injury, out for a few weeks, probably.
Yeah,
I
a
think
few
they said.
weeks. And then Everton chance at the death. Big save by David De Gea. Ends up 2-0. Obviously, midweek, Man U lost Lisandro Martinez for the entire season.
Yeah.
Feels like this will be where Eric Ten Hag proves how good of a manager he is, kind of makeshift, kind of pulling the team together and patching it up.
Yes.
So we have a lot on the line for Mr. Bald Dutch Fraud. Sam, I predicted Rashford to fall out of form. I didn't want it to happen like this.
It's a pretty brutal way to go out. I mean,
But I am correct. But I am
on
correct, and
technicality.
that's-
I
am
take that
correct, yeah.
W.
No, decent win for United. Not a great performance, but it could have really been better in terms of the result, I guess. Because they could have just smoked Everton, but I can't complain too much. 2-0's 2-0.
Pretty comfortable
Yeah.
win.
Yeah, 100%. The defense was never really challenged.
Had it not been for the injury,
That's
it would
for
have been
Everton.
a good day at the office.
You're going to need to pick it up. I don't
Yeah,
know what that was.
That was pathetic, honestly.
I guess Ellis Sims used his one chance against
Chelsea.
Charity FC. Gave him his one chance, and he scored it.
True. So Neil Maupay getting back in there.
And
Aim. Stevie G at the helm of Everton.
Oh.
True chaos.
Oh.
Too funny. All right, moving on to Charity FC.
Is that actually the next one? No.
It's not.
Yeah, Nottingham
Stay
Forest.
tuned.
Nottingham Forest on the road is pretty much Charity
Yeah,
FC.
It's true.
Free 3 points.
Yeah. Let's see.
I saw it. Speaking of Chelsea, I saw some people on Twitter that were saying something that was like, they listed Chelsea's run of games, and it was like, it's a bunch of tough games, and there's Nottingham Forest at home, and that people are still like, we may not win another game. It's like,
Come on.
sir, I don't know if you know this.
I just don't think people realize how bad Forest is away, because they probably see him get a win here and there and don't realize that it's always at home.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, yeah, and the fans there, it's crazy. It's like, yeah, go check their away record.
Yeah.
This one, Villa were just allowed to, like, pass all over the field any way they wanted to, but they couldn't really penetrate in that final third really early on.
It kind of reminded me of Man U last season, where they had really good passing, and then they just had no idea what to do in the final third.
Yeah, because their chances were definitely few and far in between, honestly, for both sides, because Forrest just trying to spring on the counter. That was not going this game somehow.
No.
I don't get Villa's defense. Sometimes it's, like, good for 5 to 6 games, and sometimes it's just, like, this is really bad.
It is
understand.
strange. They live and die by the fullback game.
I guess, yeah, because it's never fully on the center backs until it's, 3-on-2, and then it's just Konsa and Mings back. But, it goes into halftime, 0-0. I guess Villa looked the better side, but that's not saying much because Forest sucked.
Yeah, it was really disappointing that they couldn't create chances despite having so much of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Second half.
John Joe Shelby, ladies and gentlemen.
John Joe Shelby.
Just absolutely teeing up Bertrand Traore on the first shot.
Yeah.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in at least 4 weeks.
Give him the assist.
That was so good.
My guy, Bertrand Traore, get in.
Should we talk about how
2 games
Forrest
in a row.
paid like almost 30-something mil for Chris Wood and John Joe Shelby from Newcastle?
Hey, Chris Wood scored against City.
That's like
Worth every penny.
No, I don't think so.
To me.
This was like when Iwobi first went to Everton for 40 mil.
Yeah.
Or like when
Just give it a
Chelsea was
few
offloading
seasons
people to
and they'll be all right.
China for like 50 mil.
Oh my
Oscar for like
fraudulent.
90.
That's some money laundering. Talk about conspiracy. That was money laundering.
Bring back China transfers.
That was insane.
Well, I tell you what, it was not the best of saves from Navas, pushing it straight in the middle of the box, but also John Joe Shelby, please don't pass the other team. As for Bertrand Traore, he's making a late run at the Kelechi Iheanacho.
Random run of form.
I'm back. Don't forget me award.
I like it.
Which will be it has to be a new hanky this year.
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Don't Forget Me award.
Absolutely.
Up there with the Willie and Jose award or whatever we call it.
The Cenk Tosun.
Yeah, the Cenk Tosun award. Yeah, I mean after that it was still Villa for the most part. Forest felt like they put a little more effort into going forward, but
yeah, not much chance for Villa. 67th minute breaking leads to a chance for Buendia. Puts just outside the post.
Do you think this is Steve Cooper's fault?
I mean,
that they don't truly have a midfield or defense. Do you think this is Steve Cooper's fault?
They got so many players in, and yet they still have no midfield or defense.
It's quite literally a FIFA Ultimate Team in terms of like when you
really
start your squad, and it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of wingers and strikers and cams, and it's like, oh yeah.
Well, let's be honest. They brought the bad juju upon themselves with the Lingard, signing.
What about Emmanuel Dennis signing?
I mean, he's been one of the better players the past couple of weeks. Not that that's saying much.
Yeah, well, he brings bad juju from Watford.
That's true.
You don't want to bring
he brings the
guys
Watford
in.
stink.
Yeah, you don't want to bring Watford in. Yeah, game wraps up. Ollie Watkins cannot be stopped. Gets another goal.
Do it for the fantasy Premier League points. Come on, get in.
Do it for the Hank.
Do it for the Hank. Do it for the Hank streak. Hank needs 20 goals.
He's at 12. He's at
8
12.
games, 8 goals.
Dude, I'm ready for it.
He'd break Jamie Vardy's goals in straight games record.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we were banking on.
And then he'd probably fall off into the void.
Unless he gets a brace one of these games, hopefully. That'd be nice. Just a couple, just bag 2 or 3.
Yeah, maybe.
Knock them all out. Solid win for Villa. It was my lock of the week. Little made some cash on that one. That was just barbecue chicken sitting there. Forest, you can only hope to stay up by winning at home. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
That's why I have no faith in you.
Absolutely.
Brighton and Newcastle, Sam. Or Brentford and Newcastle.
You're pulling at me. I always flip them up and get them twisted. And
you always say Brentford. It's always Brentford and Brighton, too.
We can't have 2 teams with BR. I'm just going to start calling them Hove.
Hove, that's a good one. Albion, because West Brom's not up.
West Bromwich Albion.
They're doing all right.
Yeah, this was actually one of the better games of the week.
Yeah, speak for yourself.
Well, it was better than Aston Villa versus Forest.
That is absolutely.
Yeah, some early action for Brentford. Tony putting a ball across the box, cleared by Trippier, and then Janssen. Initial attempt saved only as far as Ivan Toney puts it in, but was ruled offside.
Yeah, it's brutal.
A lot of action there for Brentford early.
Yeah, and then it kind of felt like it neutralized out. Newcastle kind of took the sting out of things. It felt like one of those games where Brentford would just, for some reason, have the ball a bunch at one point, and then that kind of just faded.
Yeah,
there's a lot of like just out of nowhere like changes. And I'm sure it had something to do with some tactical changes by the managers that were in a unfavorable position early on. But there's just some games where it's like there's just like a random fork in the road moment in the game, and it's like completely went down another path. This is one of them.
Yeah. Big moment in the match, 27 minutes in. Kevin Schade making a run down the right-hand side. Ends with a terrible challenge from Sven Botman in the box. And a penalty is awarded. Ivan Toney steps up for the penalty. Terrible penalty.
Yeah.
Easily saved. Very
Yeah.
un-Toney-like on that one.
Yeah. What can you say? Nick Pope.
Yeah, wow. I mean, that was just a terrible penalty.
He got
And
psyched out.
you definitely saw the momentum
Shift.
favor Newcastle
Yeah.
to end the second half.
It's okay, though.
There was a penalty awarded to Newcastle. Brentford. Penalty awarded to Brentford despite Newcastle being on the front foot. Kind of came out of nowhere. Isak making minor contact with Rico Henry on the corner. I didn't like the call. It was pretty soft, but he was behind him, I think.
Yeah, he was.
So they gave it to him. Chance for redemption for
He
Ivan
slots it.
Toney.
There's a little blip on the radar.
Oh, yes.
The miss.
Goes into halftime. 1-0. Second half, Newcastle come out strong. Grabbing a goal 54 minutes in. Joelinton does well on the wing. Cuts inside, past the defender. Forces an own goal.
That's £40 million
Raya.
David Raya to you, Tottenham Hotspur.
Tottenham Hotspur, sign him up. Sign him up. Who needs David Raya when you got Fraser Forster, though?
Yeah. Well, who would you rather keep, Fraser Forster or Hugo Lloris? That was something I heard this week.
Fraser Forster.
Good. Yeah, I mean, Newcastle respond right after with the Wilson finding Isak.
Yeah, what a finish from Isak. Creative.
It just feels odd when Newcastle can't score. It just genuinely feels like bad luck because they create such good chances like every game. And you'll have games like this where it works out perfectly for them and how it should. And then there's just certain games where it's like they just can't buy a goal. It's so odd.
Yes, indeed. A couple more chances. Isak had one hit straight at Raya. And then Callum Wilson scores from a corner, but the ball hit off his arm, so it was disallowed. I didn't like that call either. I thought it was off his sleeve, which is supposed to not be a handball. But, rules are... They're made to be broken.
They're made to be
or if you're the Premier
deciphered
League,
in not the correct way.
Yeah, to be... Yeah, to be...
Rules are made to be deciphered in the
interpreted
correct way. Yes.
in various manners.
Yeah.
Couple chances for Brentford late on. Pope making a big save on the set piece. And then Ivan Toney at the death. 90 plus 4 has a chance, but he puts it over. Chance to rescue a point. Can't do it. Newcastle walk away. 2-1. Brentford's got to feel pretty bad about this one. They could have got something out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that they definitely could have, but did they deserve it?
That's also a fair point.
Yeah, but no, I feel the result favored Newcastle, performance favored Newcastle, so you can't complain too much, but Brentford easily could have drawn this game, and it would have been a very Brentford thing to do.
Yes. All right, moving on to the next game. Fulham versus West Ham. This game we called, I believe. I said
West Ham would win.
Yeah, because Fulham, they're on the, don't care about anything.
Yeah, they're on the just sandbag. They might finish 16th.
Yeah, they might.
Oh,
Google
get your copy
Docs.
paste.
What's going on here?
Out of my face.
What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, Fulham in this game kind of looked pretty decent while simultaneously looking bad. I don't know how that's possible, but their passing was good in the build-up, and then towards the end, that final chance just was never taken, and they couldn't really necessarily always get that final pass to create the final chance. But the build-up, very nice.
Yeah, they definitely were in control.
Oh, yeah, first 20 minutes or so. It was...
Yeah, first 20 minutes, and then the opening goal kind of came out of nowhere. Jared Bowen playing a ball across, deflects off Harrison Reed, and in for another own goal.
Yeah, potential hand in the build-up play on Soufal, but I don't know. It'd be a bit silly to call that one.
Yeah.
But they did check it on VAR.
Yeah. West Ham opening up the game 1-0 despite not having much of the ball. But Fulham, like you said, unable to do much in the final third. Chance for Anthony Robinson. For some reason, it seems like he just has one chance a game where he just takes a rip from outside the box.
Yes.
Goes like just wide or over the bar. Yeah. Fulham continue to have the ball for the rest of the half, but really do nothing with it. West Ham, like, completely out of the game somehow. Like, getting completely outclassed by Fulham, which was weird.
Yeah, both these teams in their own right are just not very good at moments this year, especially Fulham as of late. But West Ham the whole year has just shown moments of like not being.
It's so frustrating too, West Ham. It's like, man, you have some good players.
I know.
How are you playing like this?
Well, it's also, then they try and force stuff like getting more attack in this game, and they start two strikers with Ings and Antonio. And they just don't get any service, and they're not having any success in midfield.
Yeah.
Because they need an extra body. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't do that. I don't know. I think Moyes is just kind of he's run his course. Hopefully he keeps him up if you're West Ham, but
Moyes to Leicester?
No. I think Moyes might be Moyes' last go
Moyes
around.
to Scotland?
Maybe. England.
Moyes to England.
Yeah.
Moyes
Southgate.
to like Portugal or something.
Yes.
Something random. Second half, Fulham with an interesting tactic. They just started spamming crosses into the box to no one.
Yeah, they're like, we can't get the final pass, so here we go.
We'll
gonna
put
do
the
this.
ball in, and inshallah, as they say.
Yeah, and they haven't really, Fulham kind of was sneaky relying a bit on dribbling a bit this year too. With whether it's Solomon or De Cordova-Reed, but those guys not going right now. Sam's guy, Vinicius.
That guy.
The announcers were saying how big of a drop-off it was between him and Mitrovic. And it's like, well, Mitrovic hasn't been that good. But, yes, it is still an insane drop-off because that guy, Vinicius, stinks.
Very much so. 83rd minute, big chance for Pereira, played in on goal. Heavy first touch, allows Fabianski to come out and get a hand to it and makes this stop. West Ham hold on for the 1-0 victory. Did they deserve it? Probably not. Did anyone deserve anything
No,
in
that
this
should have been a
game?
goalless draw game if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I mean, good result for West Ham, but performance was not very inspiring, especially since you just lost 5-1 midweek to Newcastle at home.
Yeah, I think at this point, do you just take whatever you can get, hope to see out the rest of the season, don't get relegated, and then
hopefully you can win your Europa Conference League.
And reshuffle the cards in the summer, bring in someone with some fresh ideas. Brendan Rodgers
you sell,
at the helm.
West Ham fans don't want him. I don't know why. I don't think it'd be that bad.
Everyone hates Brendan Rodgers.
It's very odd. I think it's just one of those things. He gives you 2 to 3 good years, and then it's down the tubes.
Yeah, you see, everyone wants Mourinho, but they don't want Brendan Rodgers. They're the same guy.
Yes.
One's not as funny, though.
You got to sell. You sell Rice.
Yeah.
You buy fat Calvin Phillips from Man City. They're trying to offload him. You buy the speedy boy Conor Gallagher run around.
There you go.
And now you're cooking with some.
Now
you
you're
got
cooking with gas.
Yeah. You can also sell Skamaka because you'll never play him for some reason.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Next game, Leicester versus Bournemouth. The relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah, your team, Leicester.
Leicester, man.
I told you how long ago they're going to be in a relegation fight.
They kind of suck.
They suck big time. They don't have any ball-winning midfielders, and they don't have any true good defenders.
And they don't have any goal scorers.
Yeah.
Strikers, at least.
Hey, they have Harvey Barnes on 10 goals.
Some interesting defense early on. from Leicester. Almost a mistake from Wout Faes and Everson, leading to some chaos. Phil Billing nearly scored from free kick, hit off the post and out. That would have been mint.
Yeah. Phil Bill he's Bournemouth's top scorer this year for a reason. What can you say? He's fantastic.
He is fantastic.
They should sell him this summer for $35 million to someone.
Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, probably. Probably. Castagna, dragging effort wide.
Yeah, pretty rough. Leicester going with Vardy in this one.
Yeah, throw him up there.
Hoping that the magic will reignite, but it's just...
But it won't.
It's not there, unfortunately.
No, he's entirely washed.
I mean, not to mention he had barely any service, but, he's just not at the stage of his career where he can create stuff himself anymore.
Nope.
Another chance for Phil Billing, 24 minutes in. Nearly finds the back of the net. Good save from Everson. And then Solanke has a nice turn and shot in the box, finds space, but he puts a shot just wide. 13 minutes later, I should say. Big mistake from James Maddison, of all people.
Yep.
Passes straight back. Pulls a John Joe Shelby out here towards his own goal. Intercepted by Phil Bill. Does well to score. This guy, he's got to be like the most under-the-radar player.
No, I think the most underrated player in the league is Bukayo Saka. I don't think people know enough about him.
I agree. No, but you never really hear anyone talk about Phil Billing.
No, because no one watches Bournemouth.
Yeah,
except for us. And you know why? Because we're class.
We're sick in the head, that's why.
We're class.
Oh!
We're class.
Oh, he's got the polo over the Bournemouth Cherries t-shirt. If that doesn't say class to you, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. I mean, no, it's actual player. If you want to be serious, it is actual players like Phil Billing that no one talks about. And you're like, they're underrated. No one ever mentioned that. Mm-hmm. Even people that be like, James Maddison's underrated. It's like, what are you talking about? He's like a top 5, top 10 attacking guy in the league this year. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Phil Bill, no one talks about him. I agree, Sam.
Yeah, no one will talk about him until, a Big Six team is linked with him. And then people will be like, oh my God, yeah, this guy's awesome. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, where were you?
Where were you?
Where were you when Bournemouth was in last place? Where were you when Phil Bill was carrying the team?
I think he has 8 goals this year, something like that, leading the team. You know what team has the lowest goal score as their highest goal score? What number? I think it's 4.
Forest?
No. Brendan Johnson has like almost 10 goals.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't
I'll
feel
just tell you, it's West Ham.
West Ham.
Bowen and Ben Rama.
Well, no
like
one
4.
scores on that team anyway, so yeah, it makes sense.
Second half, Dom Solanke almost adding a second big stop from Iverson. White Iverson. Hank says Iverson, so it must be Iverson. Just thinking about the White Iverson edit, it's so funny.
I'm balling.
Sam's got Neto with the tip shot for Madison over the bar. Leicester kind of ramped it up this second half, but it really wasn't anything that special. Then Leicester, Harvey Barnes, tight angle, saved. After that, there's a lot of just like grinding it out.
Yeah.
It's not.
Grind. The Bournemouth grind.
Yeah. Something about Leicester just so uninspiring.
They are. They're just like.
Finishes 1-0 Bournemouth. I think, and I'm just going to say this now, I think I'm selling my Bournemouth stock. It's going to start going down here now.
Absolutely.
We predicted this win.
I mean, beating the corpse of Leicester.
Yeah, is
not great.
Yeah. But hey, maybe Leicester.
Important.
Although
3 points.
Leicester, we got to talk about hiring Mr. Smith, Mr. Dean Smith.
Till the end of the season.
Everyone hating on it. I think there's a bit of nobody believes in us zag potential with Leicester.
Very much so.
John Terry take over the defense. Craig Shakespeare on the bench.
You know, a lot
Dean
of people
Smith,
are saying...
I kind of like it.
A lot of people are saying, like, oh, he did so bad with Norwich. It's like, yeah, come
You
on.
and
It's
everyone.
Norwich. It's Norwich. Come on.
Him and everyone.
It's Norwich. Who does good with Norwich?
Daniel Farke, bro, who comes in the Premier League and gets like 13 points a season and then goes to Championship and gets like 119.
Yeah, well,
big props
let's
to
see
Daniel
how that
Farke.
translates.
No, I think that I feel kind of good about the Dean Smith hire, especially since no one believes in it.
Yes.
People act like he sucks. Oh, he only had one long win streak at Villa where he went 10 unbeaten. Yeah. That's pretty fucking impressive. That's a third of the season, shithead.
Yeah, most people were just absolutely hating the appointment. I did see like one person that was like, hey, yeah, I don't mind this. I was like, yes, my
Good.
guy.
Dean Smith, come on. Get
the
in,
believers.
lad. Get in, lad.
Get in.
We just need Leicester to get our guy Tete going.
It's better than the freaking tired, like, hire Rafa Benitez.
No one says that, though, really.
Dude, everyone wants Rafa Benitez.
Because they all want Leicester to go down.
I can't watch more Rafa Benitez. I can't.
He said that about Roy Hodgson.
Well, you know what? I am making a formal apology.
When we get to that,
didn't know.
Let's get to the next game. Let's get to this fraud game. Tottenham should be in like 9th place. Let's just be honest. Tottenham should be duking out with like Chelsea.
This is a very fraudulent game.
How did they get like this lucky and yet they're still so terrible?
That's the Tottenham way, man. They play like shit, but somehow they win. I don't get it.
Starts off pretty balanced game between the two sides. Out of nothing, Heung-min's son tells Sam that he's back.
It's like doing stuff like that. Like, why? Where'd that come from?
Dude, that's
you
Heung-min's son. He's
the
been
rest
here.
Of the season, and then you just
He's
rip
been
a
here this
curler
whole time,
against
bro.
Brighton.
He's come back. He came back against Leicester for a hat trick, bro. Yeah, Tottenham's midfield play, pretty decent for a little while, and then Brighton just kind of really pushed him back. Just really against the wall from like the 15th minute to like the 30th minute.
Yeah.
A few chances, one from McAllister, one from Caicedo, but then it's Louis Dunk. Has anyone ever called him Louis, you think?
Probably not.
No.
I think you're the first one.
How would you spell it? Because normally Louis, you would think, Louis.
You do
EWY. That's kind of
IE.
IE. That's weird.
Otherwise, you're Lewandowski.
Yeah, sure.
You gotta go Louis.
Louis.
Louis. He's French now.
Louis. Yeah, that's some amazing defense by Tottenham on that corner. I'll tell you that much. Just like free header for the 6'5" guy.
Yeah, absolutely insane. Just like, oh shit, we forgot about him.
It's okay, because before half, Tottenham have another chance with Pedro Porro. Their second best player instantly.
It doesn't make sense.
Halftime 1-1. Second half, Mr. Steele comes up big, stonewalling Ivan Perisic, and then it's the Brighton show, Sam. But
pain.
It's pain because there's some uncalled penalties.
Some ref ball.
Yeah, a little bit.
Speaking of handballs, 55 minutes in, Welbeck does well to control the ball in the box, makes space for the shot, which he puts past Lloris, but it was disallowed for a handball. Brutal. And then 60 minutes in, there's a scuffle, and both managers sent off, and it was brewing the whole game.
It feels like Tottenham's manager doesn't speak any language. He not even Italian. He's just a Neanderthal guy.
Yeah.
They like unfroze him, and he's just there. What's his name? Like Christopher Piolini or something like that. I don't even know what his name is.
I think it started with an S, but I don't remember.
Yeah, no one cares.
Generic Italian man.
Yeah. Well, how about Højbjerg with the little stomp on Matoma's foot as Matoma's trying to run?
In the box. I don't know if they even reviewed it. They might have reviewed it.
They did, and it was short, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, obviously, he steps on his foot. Like,
yeah, you think honorary samurai Matoma would ever dive like that and disrespect the honor
Absolutely
of his
not.
family? No. You think Brighton has to dive for penalties shamelessly like Man City?
No.
No.
You put some respect on Dr. Dribble's name.
Yeah.
He went to a prestigious school and got his PhD in dribbling. He doesn't need to... Okay, that's getting edited out. He doesn't need to dive for any penalties. He's a man of great honor, great respect.
True, you know it's not Harry Kane.
Harry Kane,
tell you
absolute fraud.
I'll tell you what. This is why Harry Kane should be top 3 for Player of the Year. This Tottenham team is so bad,
They're
and yet
very
he
bad.
just carries them to win. It's truly incredible.
Very bad.
It's truly incredible.
Yeah, it was pretty rough from the Brighton defense. Just allow him to get in through on goal like that.
These teams are like shocked that Tottenham finally goes for an attack.
That's true.
It's unbelievable.
They lull you
can't-
to sleep.
Yeah, exactly. It's the opposite of Man City. They lull you to sleep with defense rather than attack, and then they hit you on the counter.
True.
Finishes 2-1.
Fraudulent.
Amazing result for Tottenham.
Fraudulent of the utmost
Yeah.
caliber. And
Brighton just has to feel so hard done by it. Should have won this game. Easy.
De Zerbi is going to, go off the deep end, I think.
Yeah.
He's going to have to be put in the mental institute for all these penalties that aren't being given to Brighton, and he's losing his damn mind.
Yeah.
He
Well,
needs
yeah.
more hands to gesture.
Yeah. He needs more little hair gel to spike his hair and get his little goatee trimmed.
You know what he looks like? He looks like the villain in the first Spy Kids movie.
I can see it.
And we're pulling this up right now. Look at him.
Yep. He just doesn't have the facial hair. That's
He
what
looks
throws
like
you off.
Fegan Floop. Look. Yeah,
Yep.
you add a little goatee.
Yeah,
right
it looked
there.
like him.
You got De Zerbi. Oh, Fegan Floop with his weird thumb people.
Yep. I agree.
Spy Kids, what a film. What a
Moving on.
film. Danny Trejo, Oscar-winning performance
Sure.
in that one. Anyways, Hank's had enough of Spy Kids, so let's move on
Let's move on to Chelsea and Wolves.
to the team that's more boring than the Spy Kids' 10th film in the series.
That has to be the pick. It's so low res, but it has to be the pick.
Let's see how small it is. Oh, it's tiny. It's going to be so blurry. I love it. Very fitting for this game. Wolves versus Chelsea, Charity FC. Fat Frank at the helm.
Yes, he's back.
You know, Hank, I'm going to have to, have you really explain this one to me because I just couldn't understand what was going on in this game.
I don't know what there is to say. It feels like Chelsea just don't have anyone that plays in like a 10 role or a role in centrally that moves the ball forward, because Enzo Fernandez is more side to side and goes forward, but when it's diagonal, so he's playing wide players in. They need something as far as linking up, whether it's Felix, Havertz, one of those guys need to be linking up centrally, and it's constantly everyone's out wide. Why is everyone wide? It's very odd. Not to mention Chelsea are forever just forever moving so slow that it feels like they're playing with the lead.
Yes.
And Wolves in this one, there's there's Wolves where they just hold the ball and do nothing with it, and then there's Wolves where they don't have the ball and they feel pressure that they have to actually score when they get the ball, and that was Wolves this game.
Yeah.
They had early on, they had the better chances early.
Yeah. Didn't have a whole lot of chances, but they had some solid ones.
Yeah. And they were pinning Chelsea, kind of not really pinning them in, I guess, but they're getting the ball deep into Chelsea's final third and then kind of making Chelsea work for possession, to say the least.
Putting the pressure on them, making them feel the heat.
I don't get how Chelsea can have so many fast guys and they're just they never play people into space. That's what I don't understand with Chelsea.
Or you get played into space against Real Madrid and you mess up your chance. João Felix.
Well, what
Here,
can you
I'll say it. I've been saying this since day one. João Felix, he ain't it.
Yeah,
He
I
ain't
think,
it.
and there's a lot of Chelsea fans that say, well, if we don't sign him, someone else is going to sign him, he's going to do well. And it's maybe, but I don't think he's 80 or 90 mil for me. Especially, you're already bringing in Nkunku.
Yeah.
I think your better play is to just spend 80, 90 mil on a striker if you have to. But the main thing is getting, just an out-and-out Cam would just be nice. It would just be nice.
Yeah.
Not to mention you're going to have to buy a keep, probably another wide defender. I would say just...
You want like a box-to-box midfielder, probably.
Oh, you have the Enzo Fernandez. It's just you
Well,
can't play him in there because either
someone to
Conte...
play with him.
Because either Conte's out. Well, you have Kovacic, but you might sell Kovacic.
Yeah, I don't think...
very odd.
I don't think Kovacic is the future.
No. But are you going to sell him for 30 mil? He's 29, 28. You might as well just grind him out.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's something with the attack right now. And maybe the answer is just get Mason Mount right, but at the same time, it's like, how does that work?
Get Mason Mount. Whoa.
Yeah.
Get
him
going.
right.
Yeah.
That would be nice. But again, I don't think that's
when,
practical.
When we cure cancer, well, we're at it too.
So, what can you do if you're Chelsea?
When we feed the hungry.
Well, they do that, unfortunately, out there.
Yeah, it is Charity FC.
Out there and,
Speaking of charity, 32 minutes in, Mateus Nunes gets a goal via a great first-time volley. Chelsea.
Kepa, the little man, couldn't get there.
He's got little arms. What can you say? Chelsea find themselves down 1-0.
Yes. Second half. A whole lot of possession that leads to absolutely nothing. It feels like Reece James is either just like his knees so messed up that he might not ever be the same guy, or they should just rest him for the rest of the year because it doesn't matter anyways.
Might as well at this point.
Yeah, I don't really remember the second half.
No, I don't
I just
either.
remember Frank looking very confused and disappointed.
This game was weird because it was like nothing really happened.
Kind of reminded me of Chelsea's game last year under Tuchel at Wolves. It was very like when they had like no one to play because their team had like COVID. Kind of reminded me of that game. It was a very odd one.
Yeah, I don't remember. You're saying
It
Chelsea
ended
had
like
COVID
1-1.
or Wolves
Yeah,
had
no,
COVID?
Chelsea had COVID and they tried to get the game suspended, but the league wouldn't suspend it.
Classic.
And they couldn't even fill the bench.
Classic.
Yeah, classic Premier League. Rigging it against Chelsea. Rigging it against Chelsea.
Rigging it. Stop the count. Stop the count. Fake news. Lots of people are talking.
Wolves. Solid win. Sorry, Wolves fans. We wish you could spread more joy about your team, but that game really sucked and no one cared about it.
Yeah.
There's not much to say.
True. Speaking of teams,
But it's
no one cares
Liverpool's man, Matthias Nunes, who they're buying from Wolves as he just got the Wolves.
Liverpool is going to offer a solid like £35 million. No. And then Jurgen Klopp is going to be like, well, yes, we can only do with what we have. We have limited resources, and we just can't compete for Jude Bellingham.
A guy that Wolves bought for 40 and Liverpool turned around and offered less to Wolves for him.
Exactly.
Let's get to the first relegated team of the season, Southampton. I looked at their schedule before this week and saw their teams they play. I was like, yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way.
They haven't.
You know where it went wrong for them? Their stretch. You know how they always have the stretch where they pop off and that's what's kept them up?
That saves them.
They hired Nathan Jones for that stretch.
Critical mistake.
It truly was.
Critical mistake.
Even if they kept Hans, I think they would be in a position right now where they're out of relegation zone.
They hired the most meme tier manager that has ever existed in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Nathan Jones.
Yeah, that was so bad. Ruined their... Well, now Southampton, you're going down.
The Welsh fraud.
This game was a absolute blowout by Man City. Holding the ball.
Yeah. City dominant throughout the first 20 minutes. Southampton had like one attempt, and it was Suleimana on the counter, and he was one-on-one and just going the whole length of the field, and then eventually just had a super heavy touch and lost the ball, and it was super disappointing. But yeah, City just passing around very slowly, doing what they do. Just before halftime, Southampton had a decent build-up. leading to Suleimana with a chance that goes wide. And then, like you said, Erling Haaland.
Erlings
beats his man, bottle of ketchup. He says, no, thank you, I'm a mustard man. And Kevin De Bruyne puts a little sauce on his plate.
How about that?
For the finish of 1-0. Goes in halftime 1-0. Second half, just some pure dominance from City. Kind of hitting on the counter for some reason.
Yeah, they look good in this game in terms of moving the ball and stuff. It's kind of scary to see City get rolling like this right now the way they are. I mean, you don't just beat Bayern midweek in the Champions League 3-0.
You're telling me.
I think that this just shows Southampton's better than Bayern. They got a goal. They got a goal.
They got a goal.
You know, they didn't get a goal, Bayern and Tommy Tuck.
But it wasn't before they gave up 2 more goals. 58 minutes in, City hit on the counter. Jack Grealish makes a nice run and
We'll
shoots,
swing it in.
Gets the rebound off of Bazunu, just puts it in himself. And then 10 minutes later, Grealish with the assist this time, and Haaland, the machine, with the acrobatic finish.
Yeah,
absolutely
my
nuts.
goodness.
You hate to see it.
Why?
Because I hate Man City.
Oh, I like Erling Haaland. I like Jack Grealish.
I hate City.
I like Erling Haaland, and I like Jack Grealish.
City is everything I hate about modern football. You
I
have
love
a
Erling
you have a
Haaland, and I love
soulless
Jack
club
Grealish.
with barely any fan base, no history. Their kids suck. Their players are wankers, especially Bernardo Silva.
That's fair.
They spend billions of pounds on players.
Yes.
They can't even win the Champions League.
Yes.
Pep Guardiola constantly whining.
Yes.
Not as much as Jurgen Klopp, but
I agree. They're all
I hate
wankers
City.
except Erling Haaland and Jack Grealish.
the league would be better off without City in it.
Send them off to their own Super League by
Let
themselves.
them go play Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juve like 9 million times.
Yeah.
And we'll just enjoy the rest of the league. So anyways, end of that tangent.
Southampton get a goal, baby.
Southampton.
Mara,
get
come
a
on.
goal.
Come on.
2 substitutes combining.
The Gineppo sauce. Who would've seen
Gineppo
it?
sauce. Forgot that guy was a player.
Yeah, he's up there.
He's up there. And then Man City get a 4th goal after a cheap penalty given away by Walker Peters on Kevin De Bruyne. Julian Alvarez, this guy's 100% fraudulent. He comes in, scores his garbage time penalty. That shouldn't count. Don't add it to the tally.
People will sit there and say, actually, Man City play better when Erling Haaland's not actually in there because, he doesn't actually influence the game that much. And Julian Alvarez is actually a much more technical player than him. And yes, that's what I think about it.
Yes.
Yes, the man who scores 31 goals. Oh, they're all tap-ins. Oh, yeah? How come no one else scores 32 goals through like 30 games? You jabroni. Absolute.
It's a good question.
Absolute Goombas, these
That's
people.
a good question. All right.
Finishes 4-1.
Finishes 4-1 into a wonderful game.
Another
I love to see it.
another route game that just like went out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's just a fork in the road game. Out of nowhere. After it leads in Palace, leads the first 20 minutes, absolutely killing it.
Yes.
Sinister chance. Aronson chances. And then Paddy Bamford capitalizes.
Boom. 1-0.
50th goal for Leeds.
Yeah.
Big ups, bruh.
Yeah, I
And then it was
couldn't believe it.
no one could defend a set piece for either team. That was amazing. Jeff Schlupp had a point-blank chance that went wide.
Yeah, Jeff Schlupp.
Harrison almost had a
Hitting the
free kick
post.
goal.
Sam Johnston
Yeah.
in this game. Wow.
Yes.
Get in.
How about that?
The redemption.
Yeah.
West Brom's finest.
Yep. Another free kick chance. Ayew puts it wide because he's trash.
Yeah, nothing new there.
Yep. Could have had Hattie, apparently. Another save from Johnston, again, this time on strike. Johnston kind of keeping him alive. And then it's just an insane sequence. They finally get a goal off a set piece. Crystal Palace, that is. Mark Guehi. It was tipped. I don't know who was tipped by to Guehi. The original ball in was like flicked on. I don't know who it was, though.
Yeah. I forget who it was.
Was it like Ward? No, I don't think it was him. But anyways, it gets flicked on. He played on. Little tap it in.
Yeah. Goes into halftime 1-1. Super disappointing for Leeds.
Yeah, you played amazing.
And you find yourselves 1-1 at halftime. I mean, Palace was really not in the game.
Yeah, well, boy, willed him.
He must have gave a rousing halftime talk because they came out
Well, I think you're taking the piss.
on fire.
Well, I think you're...
They realized, hey, we cannot let down Roy Hodgson. This man could die at like any time. We can't be the reason that he
They
dies.
say that Etse and Elise look up to him like a grandfather.
That's awesome.
They don't say that. I made that up.
Well, who cares? Just keep spreading it. Make a tweet, post it on r/soccer viral. Boom.
Yeah.
Verified source.
Sorted.
Roll on summer. Sorted. Man, I forgot about that guy.
Bring him back.
Anyone want to get into the drop shipping business? I know a guy. Too good. Okay, second half. The dominance from Crystal Palace begins in the 53rd minute. Leeds getting embarrassed by Jordan Ayew. Jordan Ayew scores a thumping header. And that makes it 2-1. And then just 2 minutes later, some absolute prime Barcelona tiki-taka play from Palace. Great link from the young guns, Elise and Eze. And Eze gets the class finish. This is the Palace that we love to see. The young men firing on all cylinders. Elise, joy to watch. Eze, joy to watch.
Yes.
Get in.
Yes.
And then they add a fourth.
Yes.
Palace hitting on the break. Ball comes out to Edouard, who slots it past Melier. Even Edouard getting in the action. And then, just to add insult to injury, Palace add a fifth after a weird sequence of play where two players made a challenge on Hughes, and the ball deflected straight to Jordan Ayew, who no one was defending, and he was played onside by Christensen and just kind of tapped it in.
Yeah, it was really just an odd second half from Leeds. It was pretty much like the West Ham game. I mean, it finished same scoreline, so obviously it's going to draw comparisons, but it's just like a complete and utter defensive collapse.
Yeah.
Whereas like the team was like just clear on net, and you're like, wait, what? How did that happen?
Very rough.
Terrible.
Excellent.
Javi Gracia football, lads.
I love it so much. I've been reading Leeds fans talking about, Jesse Marsh was so bad. Jesse Marsh so bad. We're so much better under Javi Gracia. It's like, yeah, you squeaked out 2 wins, but guess what? Javi Gracia is trash. Jesse Marsh wasn't as bad as you're talking about. People are
legend for turning down these Premier League clubs for not giving them long.
Junior Firpo was terrible under Jesse Marsh. Is that Jesse Marsh's problem, or is Firpo just trash?
Well, he's bad under Bielsa too, so I don't know what the hell their
Firpo
point
is
is.
trash.
Yeah, obviously.
They didn't have Rodrigo.
Yeah.
For like
how long?
Freaking 3 months.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Let's move on to the game of the week.
That's it. That's all we got.
Nope. We have a game of the week. Liverpool.
That's all we got.
Arsenal.
That's all we got.
With a big old...
I wiped this game from my memory.
Why? It wasn't bad.
Well, when you consider we were up 2-0.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't watch the game. Arsenal starting off hot and heavy early. Dominant. Possessing the ball. Really taking it to him. Not afraid. It's that man. Potentially top 3 attacking player this year. You could talk me into it. I wouldn't say he is, but you could talk me into it. Gabriel Martinelli.
Gabriel Martinelli Silva to you.
Nope.
Nope.
And Arsenal keep piling on the pressure. Liverpool back 4 in shambles, as always. Can't win the ball in midfield.
Arsenal did really well in the first half to just take the sting out of the air.
Yeah, at Anfield.
And that's like the
number
keys
one
to
thing.
success.
Yeah. And then we get Gabby Jesus for Martinelli. Martinelli with the goal and assist. And it looked like it was bound to be Arsenal's day. However,
I knew
something turned when Xhaka getting in Alexander-Arnold's face, trying to give him shit.
the same thing happened last season when Arteta got upset about a foul that wasn't called, got all riled up, and then Anfield just
Yeah. Roaring.
erupts.
Yeah.
And
You just
now
gotta
they're
keep it
into the
calm.
game.
Yep.
Now the pressure's on, and guess what? You give up a goal before halftime. That is fatal.
Yeah.
You can't give up a goal before halftime. You can't. And Xhaka, really stupid, had a terrible game. I wanted him to get subbed off. Bring me Jorginho.
You wish.
I was incensed.
You wish. Mo Salah scoring to make it 1-2 for Liverpool halftime. And then it was just how hard can Mo Salah throw the game for Liverpool is all it came down to.
Liverpool should have won this game.
Yes, it probably should have been like 4-2.
Aaron Ramsdale was insane.
Yeah, his save
He
capability
should have
was
been
nuts.
man of the match, in my opinion.
Why don't you pull up the stats here real quick? Pull up the lineups, actually, rather.
Pull up the lineups.
Yeah, let me pull up the lineups here. It definitely wasn't Curtis Jones, who subbed off at 60 minutes. I forgot he played. It definitely wasn't Zinchenko.
Oh,
I think it's Cody Gakpo. Okay.
Cody Gakpo.
Yeah, I mean, the Salah penalty was insane. That was insane. Just drags it wide. Just a terrible penalty.
Yeah, at that point you're thinking
Maybe Arsenal can hold on.
lucking out again.
See, I feel like I jinxed it for Arsenal because around the 80th minute, I thought there's no way that Liverpool score because it just genuinely looked like they had tried so much and couldn't get through. And then
Yeah.
obviously all it took was a little nutmeg and Alexander-Arnold finally showing his class. He just had to be shoved by Granit Xhaka to show where he was this whole time.
This goal hurt me so much because I was sitting there saying, we got to get Zinchenko off. We need Tierney on because you could tell they were targeting Zinchenko and he was looking rough.
He was getting late.
Exposed.
He was getting back very, very late.
Yeah, and Arsenal just had no possession, so having him on to be purely defensive, terrible idea. Arteta really needed to get the subs on, but he waited too late. Zinchenko gets megged by TAA, absolutely embarrasses him, throws in a little cheeky dab as he goes on the way by. And then, of course, Bobby Firmino just loves to score against Arsenal.
Well, what can you do? He's
Farewell
amazing. He's amazing this year. There's nothing you can say about Roberto Firmino. He might be Liverpool's player of the season, and I don't know if it'd even be close.
Yeah.
Who else would it be? Alisson, I guess.
Maybe.
It's probably Alisson and then Firmino.
There were a couple chances after that.
Yeah, that could have done Arsenal, and if Ramsdale wasn't amazing.
Yeah, and then Arsenal had a chance where it was 3-on-1 or 3-on-2.
Yeah,
And Martinelli just
completely-
overcooked the pass.
But that was when it was 2-1, I believe.
I think that was when it was 2-2.
I thought it was when it was 2-1. I thought it was when it was 2-1, but I could be wrong. Oh, you could have Mo Salah as the pick. Yeah, you might have to have that.
No,
Look at
we're
that
not
pick.
putting Liverpool
Put it
on here.
Put it on.
The best thing about that was Jurgen Klopp facing away, and then he
Turning
thought
back,
that they
he
scored.
Yeah.
He gave the little fist bump.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
You're gonna
we did
have
not
to.
score?
You're gonna have to put that as the pick.
Nah.
Look at that pick.
I don't talk about that.
Look at that pick. Maybe put the Ramsdale save on Konate, which was. What is he doing? What are you doing, blood?
What is Konate doing? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like falling.
Why you on
forward.
your knees, bro?
Bro, hold
Bruh.
up.
Bro, hold up.
Oh, no, not macaroni here. Bobby Firmino. Finishes 2-2. Huge result. I don't care what anyone says for Arsenal. Everyone thought they were going to lose. Even though you're up 2-0, you take that draw 9 times out of 10.
The 2-0. Going up 2-0 is what hurts the most. In the driver's seat. In the driver's seat. Only for Granit Xhaka to... He was doing so well this season of
Wind-up merchant, but he's not a wind-up merchant because no one takes him serious.
He's just a moron.
It's kind of like Rudy Gobert.
Yeah. He's like a child, and you have to keep him in check.
Yeah. Let's get to next week.
You know, let's just talk about these games again. Let's run them back one more time.
The 15th. Do we have midweek action?
No.
Okay. All right, we start off Villa, Newcastle. Villa Park, going to be very tough for Newcastle in this one.
I still like Newcastle.
Okay.
It wasn't a convincing win out of Villa. I'm gonna say 2-1 Newcastle.
I'm going to say 1-1 draw. Chelsea, Brighton.
The Graham Potter
No De Zerbi. No... Who knows who Chelsea's missing? Who even cares?
no soul for Chelsea.
I think we're going to go 2-0 Brighton. Especially since Brighton had their bad luck against Tottenham last week. Now you get to beat up on Chelsea.
I'm going to say 1-0 Brighton.
Everton, Fulham.
This shouldn't be a game. This shouldn't be a game, dude.
I think Sean Dyche rebound back on board, baby. I'm going to go with a 1-0 special.
I'm going to say 0-0.
Gross. Southampton, Crystal Palace at St. Mary's. Roy Hodgson's tour of terror reigns in the South Coast this week.
What are we thinking, 9-0, 10-0?
9-0 hasn't been done for a while on Southampton's head.
I'm thinking 1-0 Palace.
I'm going to zag, and we're going to go Southampton 2-1.
Okay. It'd be impressive for Southampton to score.
Spurs, Bournemouth. Well, they scored last week against Man City, and Man City are going to get second in the league this year, so watch your mouth.
Second.
Tottenham, Bournemouth. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. If Bournemouth weren't hot, I would feel them in this game a bit, but they're too hot. It's not going to happen. Tottenham's going to win 2-0.
Yeah, Tottenham for sure, 2-0. I like that.
Wolves, Brentford at the Molineux. Brentford are playing it in this weird kind of way that where you can't really predict what they're going to do.
Yeah, it seems like they should be doing better than they are.
Yeah.
They've just kind of been a little rough around the edges. Need to clean some things up. I'm going to say...
I'm going to go 1-1. But I'm leaning towards Brentford win if you had to pick one.
1-0 Brentford.
Man City, Leicester.
Did
you say this should be? Did you say this should be a game?
This should not be a game.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say that City 4-0. We'll just say comfortable.
I'll say 5-0.
Oh, my gosh. West Ham, Arsenal. Arsenal like playing at the London Stadium. And Sam likes the London Stadium. He says it's visually appealing.
Stadium. I love my track meet
I like
stadiums.
you saying it in like a Todd Boehly voice.
Quality Stadium.
That's not how he sounds. Quality Stadium.
Quality Stadium.
Yeah. Chelsea are going to win 3-0.
Chelsea are going to win 3-0 against Real Madrid.
What are you thinking in this game, Sam? What are you scared of from West Ham?
I'm thinking I'm going to buy Mikhailo Mudryk for £100 million from Shakhtar Donetsk.
He was actually bought for £60 million.
He's the £100 million man.
He's the £60 million man.
He's the ghost of Kiev.
He is, in fact, a ghost who can't play football.
This is the AI-generated Premiership Perusal podcast featuring Todd Boehly.
Just get it over with and say West Ham are going to draw with Arsenal.
Yeah, West Ham.
Mr. Pep, you're literally Pep.
No.
Yes,
no.
you are in fact Pep Guardiola.
Liverpool should have won that game 3-2.
You're Pep Guardiola.
No, I hate Pep.
You
hate
are
City.
Pep. It's crazy, but it's crazy you hate him because then that means you hate yourself. This is going to be Arsenal 2-0.
Yeah, Arsenal 2-0.
Forest, United, City ground.
I don't even back Forest to get any results at home.
No Casemiro.
No Casemiro, no Rashford, no Martinez.
Martial. It's like, it's my time.
Maybe I'm buying into it.
1-1 draw.
I'm a 0-0.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go 1-1. We're going to get, it's going to be like someone stupid for man. Like so stupid you won't believe it. It's going to be like a Lindelof or something.
Probably.
Leeds, Liverpool at Elland Road. For whatever reason, Leeds do better at Anfield than they do at Elland Road against Liverpool. Makes no sense.
Liverpool away. Pretty stinky.
Yeah, but Javi Gracia football also smells quite
Very
bad.
stinky. It'd be very
Yes,
Liverpool-esque
yes.
to lose this game, though.
Would it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool.
I'll say 3-1 Liverpool.
You have a prediction for who's gonna score?
Yeah, I'll give you a prediction. I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I'm going to say Erling Haaland scores 4 against Leicester.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you captaining him in fantasy this week?
I don't even have him in my team anymore. I dropped him the week where they didn't play, and I never picked him up.
Jeez Louise.
I got one better. I got
All
Ollie
right.
Watkins.
Ooh, is he gonna score again in this? Is that what you're predicting?
Maybe.
No, he won't. Newcastle's too good.
All right, well, this has been another episode of the Premiership Perusal podcast. Terms and conditions do apply. Please pay $9.99 plus shipping and handling for another episode.
Good meal. It was a good meal. Chelsea are going to win 3-0.
Chelsea. Maybe we could get Todd Bowley on the podcast.
That'd be so sick.
Get him in on a Zoom call. Throw him up on the TV.
Oh, you guys are big Chelsea fans.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, thanks for joining us here. We're in my bedroom downstairs. Thanks for joining us in the studio. Appreciate that.
Adios, mis amigos.
America.